Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Elderly man killed in Clarendon by gunmen posing as cops. Detectives in Clarendon are probing the circumstances surrounding the shooting death of 73-year-old Hanover Kent, otherwise called Mitz. Kent, a farmer of Barnes Pass, Frankfield in the parish, was killed at his house last night. Reports from the Mapen police are that about 9:30 p.m., Kent was at his premises with a family member when men who identified themselves as police personnel called him outside. When he went outside, he was shot several times. The police were alerted and the injured man was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Investigations are ongoing. Man injured in St. Thomas gun attack. A St. Thomas man remains in hospital following a gun attack last night. The shooting happened about 7 o'clock in the community of Poor Man's Corner. It is reported that residents heard explosions and shortly after, the man was found suffering from gunshot wounds. A passing motorist assisted the injured man to the Yallas police station and the cops then took him to the Princess Margaret Hospital where he was admitted. He reportedly told investigators that he was standing outside his house when a man who was wearing a handkerchief tied around his face came up and attacked him. Man seen chopping woman with machete on viral video charged. The police say the man seen in a now viral social media video attacking and chopping a woman in Mapen, Clarendon has been charged with wounding with intent. The police have identified the man as 47-year-old Obadiah Simit, a farmer of Newley Road, Manchester. In the video, a man can be seen using a machete to chop a woman in her face. A police officer who was in the vicinity at the time of the incident intervened and saved the woman's life and also apprehended the accused man. The woman was taken to hospital for treatment. Common law couple dies instantly from vehicle crash in Hanover. A pump attendant and her common law husband died from a motor vehicle collision in Hanover on Thursday morning. The couple has been identified as Cordella McCollum and Branford Gillen, both of a Hanover address. 3 other persons were rushed to hospital to be treated for injuries they sustained in the collision. Reports are that about 11:30 a.m., McCollum and Gillens were passengers in a Honda Stream motor car that collided with another vehicle along the Sandy Bay Main Road. The common law couple reportedly died instantly, while 3 other occupants of the vehicle in which they were traveling were rushed to hospital. The Sandy Bay police are investigating the incident. 5 COVID deaths recorded within Department of Correctional Services. The Department of Correctional Services, DCS, has disclosed that there have been 5 deaths related to COVID-19 within the department since the first case of the coronavirus was confirmed in Jamaica on March 10 last year. 2 of the deceased persons were inmates, while 3 were staff members. Despite being that seriously impacted, the DCS, while acknowledging that COVID-19 pandemic has negatively affected all facets of Jamaica life, including presenting challenges for the department itself, is insisting that it has mitigated the effects admirably. This is according to Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of National Security, Senator Matthew Samuda. The ministry, in a news release on Thursday, said the institution's penal facilities' relative success is partly due to foresight. The sensitization to the potential threat began in January 2020 last year through sharing of the basic facts that we know about the virus then with key members of the DCS medical team and representatives from the correctional centers, added Samuda. He said subsequently, a comprehensive contingency plan was prepared, while guidelines from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the United States-based Centers for Disease Control, the Pan American Health Organization, and the World Health Organization forming the foundation. Samuda further stated that the DCS then carried out an education effort targeting staff and inmates throughout the organization. Pamphlets were handed out, posters were erected, and the radio stations in the facilities were used to share information, the minister said. He was addressing Wednesday's Sir Arthur Lewis Institute for Social and Economic Studies UWI Virtual Public Forum under the theme Successfully Managing the COVID-19 Pandemic in Prisons, the Experiences of Caribbean SIDS. Samuda told the panelists that the virus has threatened to undermine each of the DCS core functions, stating that it is more difficult to maintain order in correctional facilities with the added anxiety both for inmates and staff brought on by the virus and its second-order effects. That anxiety is compounded by a possible staff shortage due to quarantine and infections, the necessary cessation of inmate family visitations, and the increased need to establish spaces for quarantine areas in facilities that already have little space to spare. He added that decreased traffic in and out of facilities has also disrupted interactions with the court system and the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF due to lack of physical court attendance by inmates and those on remand. Further, he said, the DCS had to divert resources from activities such as rehabilitation programs into securing the basic well-being of those in its care. Samoda said, like all the penal institutions, the DCS is designated to be high risk for outbreaks of infectious diseases due to the number of persons housed in the facilities. He said, considering the realities, the department managed to pull off efforts in containing the spread of the virus once it entered the facilities. He said apart from the initial preventative measures, the department's success can be attributed to the many dedicated staff members who risk their lives daily to provide care for positive inmates and children, sometimes working double shifts, and who at times cook and clean in place of inmates who were in quarantine. Samoda pointed to some shortcoming. However, he acknowledged that the whole of institution effort did encounter issues that limited the department's success. As such, despite the efforts of the DCS staff in responding to COVID-19, the sustained and demanding challenges led to burnout, which would have caused on occasions lapses in protocol adherence. If COVID-19 has offered any benefit to Jamaica Department of Correctional Services, it is by highlighting the major areas of vulnerability within the critical institution, which is now the task of the government to address, stated Samuda. One notable development, according to the minister, is the ongoing procurement of a digital jail management system, which he said is to not only improve the internal efficiencies of the DCS operations, but also make the operations more transparent to adjacent state agencies to streamline relevant interactions. This system will automatically generate data which can be used to monitor important developments in the facilities and to coordinate the appropriate responses. Once this system comes online, DCS will have taken a significant step toward greater internal security, the efficient administering of adequate care to those in its charge, and seamless interoperability with other security and justice institutions, declared Samuda. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.